Fortnite didn't become a collaboration machine because it ran out of ideas. It did it to stay culturally unavoidable. Because in modern gaming, being good isn't enough anymore. You have to remain visible. And few games in history have understood that better than Fortnite. But understanding why something happens doesn't mean it feels good when you're living through it, especially if you've been here for a long time. If you've played Fortnite for years, you've probably felt it. The collaborations feel constant. The item shop feels crowded. Your locker doesn't even feel like yours anymore. And for longtime players, collabs don't always feel exciting. They feel intrusive, like something is being layered on top of the game you loved instead of being built from within it. And when that happens repeatedly, it's easy to start thinking that this isn't about creativity anymore. This is just a money grab. This game doesn't care about us. That reaction isn't shallow. It's emotional, and it comes from attachment. A lot of players take it even further, and they say Fortnite is no different than any other billion-dollar company. That it stopped caring about the original player base, that it's chasing profit at the expense of identity. And here's the important part. That belief didn't come out of nowhere. It formed because players feel like things are happening to them, not with them. When collabs arrive faster than people can process, when prices feel confusing, and when design choices don't line up with player expectations, frustration fills in the gaps. Sometimes the frustration isn't about the collab itself, it's how it's handled. Players imagine obvious design choices, one skin with multiple edit styles, a back bling that feels like it should have been a pickaxe, bundles that feel split instead of unified. So when something releases that feels almost right, it creates disappointment. Not because people hate the crossover, but because they expected more intention. And when that happens over and over, trust gets quieter. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. A lot of players who complain about collabs still buy them. That doesn't make them hypocrites, it makes them human, because Fortnite is really good at creating emotional urgency. Limited time shops, rotating shops, fear of missing out, and that pressure works, even on people who know it's happening. This is something we don't talk about enough. Fortnite is designed to make you want things and to keep you playing. That doesn't mean Fortnite is evil or malicious or trying to harm players. It means Fortnite exists inside an attention economy. Scarcity creates urgency, urgency creates action, and for some players, that pull becomes hard to resist. I know people who struggle to stop spending money in Fortnite, people who feel frustrated with themselves and blame the game for making them feel like they have to own something. And there's truth there, because the system is designed to trigger that feeling. But here's the important distinction. Understanding the design doesn't remove personal responsibility. And personal responsibility doesn't erase the design. Both things can be true at the same time. There's another side to collaborations that players rarely get to witness. Behind every bundle are contracts, licensing agreements, design teams, legal frameworks, revenue splits, and salaries that have to be paid. Fortnite doesn't raise prices or structure bundles randomly. At this scale, nothing is casual. Understanding that doesn't mean players have to like every decision, but perspective changes interpretation. Sometimes it helps to zoom out. Imagine Fortnite wasn't just a game you logged into. Imagine it was your business, a global platform, thousands of employees, entire ecosystems depending on its survival. You wouldn't think small. You could not afford to. You look for ways to stay relevant, visible, culturally present, not because you're greedy, but because irrelevance is how entertainment disappears. Seeing that perspective doesn't excuse everything, but it does explain why certain decisions exist. Scale changes what survival requires. But here's the part that might matter most. Sometimes it's not the decisions that hurt players the most, it's the silence around them. When change happens without explanation, people fill in the meaning themselves, sometimes with frustration, sometimes with skepticism, sometimes with the belief that they no longer matter. That interpretation isn't always fair, but emotionally, it makes sense because humans don't just want to be part of a system, they want to feel seen inside it. And when communication shrinks, distance grows, not always because a company stopped caring, but because scale changes how companies speak. That space between decision and explanation is often where the strongest reactions are born. For example, Fortnite used to do a lot with explaining to players what every update means and what is going into it. And now they sort of just drop updates, they drop collaborations, and there's no explanation, it's just happening to the players. So that's where the frustration will fill the gaps. But however, Fortnite is working on a team where they're being more helpful and more open to the Fortnite community, so that is a plus. And Fortnite didn't choose collaborations instead of originality. It chose both. Storylines, live events, new mechanics, new modes, with collaborations later on top. Because survival in modern gaming isn't about purity, it's about longevity. Games don't usually die because they changed, they die because they stopped being noticed. So maybe the real question isn't why did Fortnite change? Maybe it's, would Fortnite still be here if it hadn't? Because Fortnite didn't become culturally unavoidable by accident. It made choices, strategic ones, sometimes uncomfortable ones. And whether we love every change or not, the fact that we're still debating it, still logging in, still caring, might be the clearest proof of all. That Fortnite never stopped fighting to stay alive. A lot is going on in the Fortnite community about collaborations and everyone's thoughts about them. And I think talking about it helps. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.